want to paint a winter wonderland but don't know where to start, or every time you try, just end up with mud, join me as I take on the challenge of creating a watercolor painting of a winter wonderland scene featuring a red barn. In this video, I'll show you colors you can use to suggest a sunny winter afternoon in the snow and take out all the guesswork for you. Here's the drawing that I'll be using. I've sketched the composition, putting the red barn to sit in the left of the landscape. Let's get started. I'm using roughly half of a 10 by 15 inch section of paper in a watercolor block taped off. First, I wash in a dark blue sky as a gradient with cobalt blue, Winsor violet, turquoise, and indanthrone blue. I'm using a Robert Simmons white sable 3/4 inch flat. If you need some help with your gradient washes, check out the video above. I'm going for a late afternoon look, hence a very dark sky. I make a similar gradient wash in the lower left corner for the shadow in the foreground. In this case, I'm using a number 10 round sable brush. Next, I'm going to start building up some shadow and depth in my painting using a combination of wet on dry and wet into wet techniques to create some snow-covered mountains and hills. I'm using a mix of cobalt blue and turquoise to create a sense of coolness and distance in the background. The brush I'm using is a number 9 Nic Pro round. How can I create a sense of atmosphere in the painting? Well, one way is to vary the values in the objects in the distance. The way I'm doing it is to create different values on the shadows on the snow. As I move towards the shadows in the midground, I'm paying close attention to the lines that I've drawn so I can paint the shapes of the shadows correctly. If the lines in a painting are confusing and I'm afraid that I'm going to put down color in an area that I'm trying to keep white, I will put in light pencil a little X where I need to keep it white. And that reminds me, don't paint here. It's a handy trick, but you also have to remember that if you do plan to put some color in those areas where the X is, be sure to erase the X first, because as soon as you put even the lightest pigment down, you won't be able to erase that pencil. Ooh, look at how painting in the distant mountains and the mid-ground hills is really bringing the painting to life. I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. But something's missing, and I think it has to do with the warmth of the shadows you find on a winter afternoon. I'm going to finish laying in the blue colors of the shadows and then look for opportunities to add in some warmer colors to get that golden feeling you get in a December day. Notice how I'm adding perylene maroon to the shadow of the barn. This makes the shadows warmer due to the golden light that you get on a winter afternoon. I'm using yellow ochre to add in some winter foliage. This also helps add to the sense of a golden winter afternoon. Since I'm using the white of the paper to suggest snow, why am I painting in the roof of the barn? Really, we're painting the illusion of white. Snow is not perfectly white everywhere. Rooftops don't always face the sun directly, which would make them perfectly white if they did. In this case, the rooftop is not facing the sun directly, therefore we do want to paint in a little bit of shadow to make that look realistic. I'm starting to work on the barn using some warm red tones with cadmium red scarlet hue and darken it with perylene maroon to add shadow and depth. To further add in the sense of the roundness of the hills, I also brush in some warm gray shadows. I painted in some pine trees, and to get snow, I'm using a white gel pen. Off camera, I've lightened the sky. I hope you've enjoyed watching this painting come to life, and I hope it's inspired you to try your hand at creating your own winter wonderland scene. And don't forget to share your comments. If you're looking for more watercolor inspiration, be sure to check out my other tutorials.